I have one question concerning...
All right, we just got a minute. Now, where does this voice come from?
Here I am, right
Yep.
here.
I don't see you yet, but that's all right. The light's in my eyes. Oh, yes, now I see you.
Right. First of all, I like to say, just being like an ordinary brother off the street who's kind of interested in history, like I'm very thrilled to like see you up here because I've read like a lot of things about your husband, and like I said, it's really a thrill for me. But and my question concerns your husband, and like I've read a lot of things about your husband's relationship with Marcus Hosea Garvey, and like most of these things have been negative. Like maybe the relationship was negative, and I maybe shouldn't even bring this up, but for like clarification and for like a yearning for truth in a sense, I'd like to like know something about it.
This has to be the last, but I'm really very glad the young brother brought this up because I'm very glad to clear up some misunderstanding. One of the weapons a man uses is to divide leaders and to say that the leaders are fighting among themselves. They're still using it, isn't that the truth? So there was big noise in the United States about the controversy between Booker T. Washington and Du Bois. Big noise about controversy between Marcus Garvey and Du Bois. Now, these controversies never existed in neither case. Just since I mentioned Booker T. Washington, Du Bois and Booker T. Washington wrote a book together. And the book is by, I think Washington's name comes first, Booker T. Washington and W.B. Du Bois. It's called The Negro. I don't think you can find it any place, but anyhow, it was published. That takes care of that. Now, about Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey came to this country from Jamaica, coming in 1916, and he set up his association, a Negro Association for Improvement. I got this in my notes someplace, and I wanted to have the name right, but you know what I'm talking about. And he had a lot of very good ideas, which, well, all right, let me go on. But he did not know conditions in the United States very well. Now, he came from Jamaica. He was an adult. And he came after the First World War. But he was able to mobilize black people in these crowded urban centers where they had to live under terrible, terrible conditions. He was able to give them hope for something better. And he taught them industry and to save their money. Then he wanted to take those who wanted to go back to Africa. Now, the whole movement wasn't a back to Africa movement, and this is one of the misconceptions. He bought 3 ships. These were rotten ships. They never would have got past the Goddess of Liberty. He did not know so many things about corruption, about being cheated. Nowadays, a person who buys a ship, this is one of the big improvements in the United States, really the ships do have to pass an inspection. But apparently at that time, either they didn't have to pass any inspection, or if they did, these were dishonest inspections. They were rotten ships. They wouldn't have carried anybody anyplace. He was never allowed to set foot on any African country himself because, after all, at this time, Africa was owned completely, and they kept him out as an unfavorable immigrant or something like that. I've heard that statement lately, too. When he was deported and sent back to Jamaica, he later went to London, where he died. And when he died, I'm sorry I don't have with me what Du Bois wrote about him in The Crisis. I will repeat it as well as I can, remembering it. He said Marcus Garvey was a man of vision. His scheme was a bit bombastic, and it was on the whole unrealistic. But this was a good, honest man who was able to mobilize and to bring together people, black people in masses, to give them new hope, to give them new courage, to give them an understanding of themselves as nobody else had ever done. And that what he did has spread throughout all Africa and in Europe. Du Bois paid beautiful tribute to Marcus Garvey. They never fought each other as the man would like to have it thought. Thank you.